we do want to go to what's happened in Georgia. And Dad, the judge in Georgia who's presiding over the election interference case announced Wednesday that he will allow President Trump and his co-defendants to appeal the order that denied the disqualification of FANI WILLIS.
Yeah, so it was discretionary. He didn't have to because it's an interlocutory order. He is allowing that appeal. The appeal, though, goes to the Georgia Court of Appeals. There's a two-tier system in Georgia. There's the Georgia Court of Appeals and the Georgia Supreme Court. Review by the Georgia Court of Appeals is not mandatory. They have to accept it.
Right.
So I've asked our team. I'm a bar member of the Georgia and the Georgia. I've argued in the Georgia Court of Appeals many times that we could file a brief in that as well, urging them to take it, because I think once you have a classification that there's an appearance of impropriety on a criminal case, and then the odor of mendacity, as we talked about yesterday, I just don't see how that case can move forward with those same players, Harry. It makes no sense when you have an appearance of impropriety in a criminal matter. It's not a civil case. This is a criminal case.
Particularly, this case is a case of national importance. And so I think the Court of Appeals should exercise its power to review the lower court's opinion, even though it's discretionary. And I also think that the lower court judge, Judge McAfee, issued an opinion which at various points was contradictory. On one hand, he suggests that FANI WILLIS should maintain her job so long as Nathan Wade resigns. But then on the other hand, the judge suggests that there is indeed an appearance of impropriety and the odor of mendacity. So I think the Court of Appeals needs to resolve the apparent conflict in Judge McAfee's order.
So again, it's discretionary review by the Court of Appeals. We're going to file a brief urging them to take it, and then we'll file a merits brief if they do.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important for the fair administration of justice. You cannot have the fair administration of justice if you are allowing a criminal case to proceed against anyone, including especially a former president, but really anyone, if you have an appearance of impropriety. This is absurd. Judge McAfee got it wrong, in my opinion, and I think the Georgia Court of Appeals can correct it. Now, if the Georgia Court of Appeals rules the other way, you could still seek review, but it's, again, discretionary of the Georgia Supreme Court.
Yeah,
Georgia has a very sophisticated bench, by the way. I mean, these are really smart lawyers. One of the presiding judges on the Court of Appeals, Yvette Miller, was a classmate of mine at Mercer. I mean, he's very, very smart.
It feels like he was trying to thread some needle for his own political career because, like you said, Dad, he hits the line, which you say, in a criminal matter, if there's that appearance of impropriety, that
would be it.
And then yet he pegs that on Wade, but not the actual DA.
Who was the one who was responsible for it.
So she doesn't have a person handling the RICO side, which could slow things down considerably. But as of this time, she's still running the show.
It's ridiculous.